Thank you for listening to the Tattness podcast on the Tattness Co. Network.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. A Mercedes kind of sentiment, luxury, and trust in me to honor the free we all should be. It seems my sundial burst into yin and yang, right and left, me and you.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Tattness podcast. My guest tonight needs no introduction, man. You know him as Kincaid from Nightmare on Elm St. 3 and 4. Mr. Ken Sagoes is with us tonight. And we're going to talk about a short film that he has out that he's done himself. That it's won awards already, man. It's pretty cool. It's really important. I think it's vital to see this. I think the message in it is very, very important. So we're going to get into that, and we're going to kind of see where he's at with all that and how much work was put in, and the difference between being in front of the camera and being behind it. All right. So how's it going? How's everything going with you?
Things are going well. I'm looking forward to my next project and getting it together. You know, I dressed up for you. I put my scarf around.
I love it. First off, I wanted to start off by actually congratulating you on the awards on your short film. That's awesome, man. Well deserved.
Thank you. I just about 30 minutes ago, I got this message that I'm a finalist for the Directors Award.
Oh, that's amazing. Congrats.
The Directors Film Festival.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Well deserved, man, I must say. So you've been doing quite a bit. So what's the difference now? Like, there's obviously got to be a difference between being on, you know, in front of the camera versus behind it, right? It's probably a lot more work, I would imagine.
It's a lot more work. Your days never end. It's not like you see, as an actor, I go to work, and when I'm finished with my scenes, that's it. It's a wrap for that day, and I go home and prepare for the scenes that's coming up the next day. But as a director, you're the last one there, and the first one there, and the last one to leave. You is like, it's your ship.
Exactly.
So imagine it's your ship. That's the best way I can see it.
Yep. So you're a lot more invested in every aspect of it.
In every aspect, in the way that it looks, and the way that it sounds, the way that the actors relate to this particular character, because you want things to match. Even though you have a continuity person on there, they can't get inside your head.
Exactly.
And so I've learned that what I'm doing now is a lot more artwork, a lot more brushes with the paintbrush.
Absolutely.
Paintbrush, if you will.
I always imagined it would be a fair comparison to say it's like going from being an employee to being the owner of the company. You're a lot more invested. It's all on you. It's like, you know, you're not the employee anymore. When you go home, you don't take your work with you. Whereas when it's your company, it's on your mind all the time.
Correct. It's on your mind all the time, and you're not sleeping. You're thinking of new ideas and things like this. Yeah, I guess the best way I can say is like, you know, painting with just a pencil and sketching as to painting with a paintbrush. Your Van Gogh, your Rembrandt, all of those put together, you know. And so,
absolutely.
And you bring it together. You're bringing the pieces together. Each actor is like a piece of the puzzle. But as a director, you put in the puzzle together.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the things that I like about it. I really do like about it.
That would be, yeah. I mean, you know, when you're that invested in it, it becomes like, you know, a work of, you know, passion, basically. I think it's definitely a labor of love for sure.
Labor of Love. That should be the name of the production company, which was one of the names that I had on another project I was doing, and I understand it more now. You know, as a writer, I used to worry about that phrase that, you know, that it's the director's film.
Right.
I understand it a little bit more now. Don't get me wrong, I still think it should be a great part of the writer's film because that's the seed of production. But I understand what they mean by it's the director's film.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because at the end of the day, you're going to care about it more. That's your baby, right? You know what I mean? And, you know, like that's yours. You love it, man. And that's what makes it so great. I love the trailer. I can't wait to see it. I thought it looks amazing. I think it's, especially with everything going on right now, it's so crucial.
Very good. And the young actor that played that role, Caleb Roberts, did a tremendous job. In fact, I had a wonderful ensemble cast. I wish that there was more categories in the film festival that says ensemble cast, because I really, really did have a great ensemble cast.
Yeah, it shows. I mean, the trailer alone shows how amazing everybody did. And, you know, it got us talking about it over here. And on one of my shows, I kind of addressed how, you know, you got you and I right now, you're in California, I'm in Canada, and technology, like we can sit here in real time and have this conversation. I can see everything. And it's like we've come so far technology-wise, but we haven't gotten too far in how we treat each other as people. You know what I mean? It's like we haven't advanced where it matters.
Right, where it matters. You can still take some of the actions of today, and they will be parallel to some of the actions of the 1950s.
Exactly.
I am a 50s and 60s baby. And I'm from Georgia, so my grandparents used to babysit Dr. King or watch over Dr. King.
Oh, wow.
So I got a chance to see the outskirts of the civil rights movement. We just lost John Lewis. I didn't know the man, but I got a chance to see the man as a young kid. I got a chance to see all those great leaders and what we was doing yesterday in the 60s. And it's scary because it's coming back now. It's coming.
You know, it's really upsetting, and it's kind of insane that it's gotten as far as being able to make a snap judgment on somebody based on clothing. You know what I mean? Like their choice of clothing, you suddenly think you have an idea of what that person's about, and it's just absurd to me.
Yes. I think sometimes to write stories, you have to experience it.
Exactly.
And I think as an African American man, a man of color, we have experienced things like that. People don't know that one of the things that we are taught as a young black child is how to act when you go out. Don't go down. Back in the day, it used to be that you don't go down the street because of the color of your skin, but it gets to the point that don't go down the street because if the police stop you, you still had the same fear. And so I'm so proud of where young people are beginning to take that chance now and do what the John Lewis said, good trouble. Good trouble.
Right. It is amazing in that sense that as much as things haven't progressed the way they should, I feel like on the other side of that coin, it's almost feeling like this year people have finally had enough of the racism nonsense and are finally speaking out. You know, no matter what color, white even, you know, a lot of people are just like, they're done with it. They are not tolerating it anymore and finally speaking out. And I think that's a huge step in the right direction.
You know, Keith, the thing is, if you don't do anything, if you don't say anything, regardless of your race,
exactly.
It's a reflection of you.
Exactly.
So it's a reflection of you, no matter what nationality you are. Because you don't say anything and because you don't do anything, then you're standing for what is happening. So you have to do something. And we've gotten to a point, especially with social media, that you can't hide behind a lot of things. You can't hide behind that great motto, I didn't know.
Exactly. Absolutely. And I've addressed that on my show too, where I said apathy is just as much, a part of the problem as the problem itself.
Yes.
There's too many people that think if they keep their mouths shut and don't say anything, that they're not contributing to the problem. But it's like, you are.
Right.
Because you're not doing anything to make these people uncomfortable with that behavior.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that to me is just as bad. We've
lost the village.
Yes.
Village. I mean, back in the days that I was growing up, it's that, there was a village. And just, if I got in trouble at school, the teacher could spank me or whip me, or the principal could. And then I know there was another 1 or 2 whippings when I got home, because there was a village.
There you go.
You can't even look at a child. A child can say anything they want to within the classroom, and you can't do anything.
Exactly. It's crazy. And I know back in the day, like even your friends' parents had the authority if they felt the need to correct you. And now it's so much, of this, it's almost territorial. Like, don't talk to my kid like that. And it's like, man, you should be grateful for the extra set of eyes that are trying to correct the behavior. Rather than condemning it,
Yeah. But that's what we are now. That's the world. So you have to learn how to deal with the world, what it is, because this is still a beautiful world. It's still a wonderful place to live, and everything.
Absolutely. I think, it's just with the media especially, it's a lot of the negative that you see. And you don't hear a lot about the good stuff. I think with the internet now, it's starting to kind of show a little bit more because some people want to make that priority, but still not enough in my view.
It's because we have choices.
Exactly.
We didn't have choices. Yeah. Again, I'm going to go back to the days when there was only 3 channels.
Absolutely.
And after that, I think it came up to 10 channels, counting PBS, But now, man, every day, Nightmare on Elm Street, for an example, every week somewhere, Nightmare on Elm Street is playing.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Crazy.
I love it, man. I grew up with it, and I was actually laughing because when you called me this morning, my producer for my show kind of got this like freaked out, like dumbfounded look, like when she realized who was calling me. It just blew her mind. I'm like, yeah, we're doing a show today, and I think it's across the board with everyone I know that in 3 and 4, you were like the favorite character. That was the best.
I appreciate that.
I always cracked up, man. Your character was awesome. I think you nailed it. You just did a great job, and it was entertaining. And I was happy to see you live in the 3rd one, man. I was like, good, he made it.
You was happy. I think the world was happy.
And then in the 4th one, they stuck it to us, man.
And I'm sure you've heard me say this, and a lot of people have said this. Because of my living at the end of part 3, I made history. I became the first African American to ever survive a major horror film.
Absolutely.
Or sequel. That was history. But I never make this statement without giving homage to the great actor William Marshall from the 70s during the Black exploitation era when he played Blackula.
Absolutely.
Blackula just was not an international film, but he certainly is the one that went through another sequel. But I guess there's a technicality because he was Blackula, he was dead. Well, I guess there's a technicality there, but
there you go. Yeah, man, I love your work, and I thought it was really cool to see that you're now on the other side of the camera, doing your thing. And
I don't like to say I'm on the other side. I'm on the other side, but I'm still on both sides of the camera. So
Right, you're doing double duty.
yeah, I don't feel that you should wait for someone to look for you,
Absolutely.
tell you for a role. My philosophy that I got from a wonderful director, Bill Duke, is don't wait for Hollywood to discover you. You discover yourself, and Hollywood will come to you. And so, man, I'm so blessed because directing this short film, people are seeing me as a writer and they're seeing me as a director. So, and I'm getting attention. But what most people don't know is that I was a writer before I was an actor. I was actually a staff writer for Paramount Television.
Oh, wow.
And so I was that before that.
That's amazing, man. And I literally was having that conversation the other day with a friend of mine saying it's so disheartening and upsetting to see, like, I know so many talented people that just keep telling themselves, oh, it'll happen one day, it'll happen, but they sit on their couch not letting their gift out for anyone to discover it. They're not going to discover it while you're on your couch, man. You got to put yourself out there.
You got to go out there. You know, I think the hardest thing for me is to every day. That's how you and I are talking, is because I ask people to go to the YouTube and please just like and do a comment. And my fingers are so tired because I don't know how to write, because I have about 5,000 friends. I don't know how to do something where all 5,000 friends get this message. But at the same time, I want to be able to go to you individually. So what you received from me was me going directly at you and no one else. And when I go to the other person, it's all one-on-one.
Exactly. And that's great, man.
My fingers are tired.
No doubt. I've been sharing the link too and telling people to check it out, to comment, to like it. And I think
for the people who are listening on YouTube, I love Facebook, but Facebook doesn't help me with your likes and your comments.
exactly.
YouTube helps me.
That's why I specify to people, like, because they don't get it otherwise. It's like, no, not on this post. You have to go to the YouTube channel, actually comment on the video, like it, and that's helpful. And I'm sure you've kind of discovered the same thing that I have, where people will sit on Facebook, they'll scroll all day, they'll click on videos to watch it and whatever. But when the time comes to simply click a button to support something, it's like pulling teeth sometimes getting people to do that.
Yeah, it is. It is. But, you know, it's not a disrespect. It's just the way it is. And
It is. Yeah.
That's why I feel like if I can reach out to you one-on-one and talk to you one-on-one and explain what I need, I don't think I had anyone to say no.
Exactly.
You know? And so that's what I'm doing. And that was why I really wanted to do this here interview, is to really ask people and ask them if you could just go and like and make a comment. I really believe you're going to like the trailer. Just go and like and make a comment. I need about 20,000 likes and comments. That's what I really need. I mean, right now I think I'm at about going on close to 5,000 views. Now, it's the views that I need, and I need the likes and I need the comments. So if you're listening to me, please just go to YouTube. It's the McHenry trial trailer. It's 2 minutes. Just click on it, like it, and make a comment. You know, about this would be a good feature film. And I shot this as a feature film. That's what I shot. I didn't shoot it for TV. I didn't shoot it for syndication. I shot this as a feature film. And, you know, I want to start at the top. Because when you start at the bottom, it's hard to get to the top. But if you start at the top, you already up there at the clouds.
Absolutely. And once we're done, I'm going to actually post this on my website for my business with the link to the trailer attached. So you get more traffic, and try to put it everywhere I can on my Facebook pages.
And to the fans who are listening, if you see it, please post it on your social media page and ask them. That's how things go viral. It's less than 60 seconds. I'm not asking for money. I could see if you was running if I was asking you to go to the GoFundMe. But I'm asking you to go finger me. Not this finger. You know. So, and just to like it, you know, I mean, I'm telling you, I need it. You know, I really need their support, you know, and that's what made investors look at it. That's what made the production companies look at it. And the one thing about this, since I've been on the film freeway, over 350 film festivals have reached out, have invited me to send this trailer to them, to be a part of them. Over 350.
That's amazing.
Yes, and so I can only do so much because of finance. But I just won 2 awards. Both of them are out of the country. So that tells me that this is a story that's universal.
Exactly.
It's universal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so everybody wants to see this. So I need people to go and watch this show, this trailer, and like it, so investors can see, hey, look, this has overseas appeal, because overseas is really giving it a lot of attention to, not just in the United States, but overseas as well.
Exactly. That's amazing, and that really shows a lot. And I think that displays the power of the topic of the film too. That's definitely, like I said, with everything going on right now, it's such a crucial film in my view. It's a subject that needs to be addressed, and I think it's, by the looks of it, it's a great job has been done addressing it.
Yeah, it's it's a family film. It has comedy in it. It has adventure in it. It has race relations in it, and there's a wonderful relationship between the father and the son. Often you never see a young kid defending his father and knows what he's talking about. This was a brilliant young kid that, you know, went to an Ivy League college when he was 9 years old and passed the bar and everything by the time he was 14. And his father has issues and he's homeless. And his father, how I would tell you, his father wanted to see his son so bad when he came back that he was trying to get the right clothes. And that's where he was accused of murder. I don't want to give away the story, but the young 14-year-old kid does a splendid job. And by the way, when we was filming this, he was just 13.
Oh, wow.
He was 13.
He's never going to forget that either, man.
And not only that, 3 days ago, he won Best Actor in a film festival for this role.
Wow. That's amazing at that age too. That's a hell of an accomplishment, you know? And that's really cool. I mean, it's really nice to see somebody young getting a start, so, you know, on something so important, I think.
Yeah. This is a family film. It's, you know, it's an adventurous, you know, and it's not a horror film. Right. But it has some moments that will scare you in it about what's going to happen, because it is, I address a lot of issues in it. And I did not, excuse me, I did not start writing the story about these issues. The issues came as the story developed.
Okay.
You know, so I did not, you know, I didn't sit down and say, I want to put this issue in and stuff like this here. It came as the story developed. And as a writer, I was always taught that if you get a good character and have a good story, you don't have to work that hard. You just have to write down what the character wants and the situation wants, and that dictated. And this is from a book, by the way.
That's awesome.
And, a book that I wrote. Yes, the book of the same title, The McHenry Trial, and it's been endorsed by several teachers, and there is a couple of teachers that's trying to get this book into their middle school curriculum for their students to read.
That would be brilliant, I think. Like, that's awesome. It should be, I think, in schools, because it's something that they have to get familiar with and, you know, maybe learn from an early age that this kind of thing's not acceptable anymore. And they're going to be the ones, if anybody, to change it.
Yes, but it's not acceptable. But what I like about it is that as an African American man, you don't see a young child dealing with drugs, dealing in the game life. This is completely different.
Exactly.
This is a young, brilliant, educated kid that's 14 that have all the young people problems, you know. So he's defending those that, you know, that's in this situation. So he, you know, it's not a drug thing.
Exactly, which is brilliant, you know, because I feel like that's not something you see enough of. You know, it's
something that everybody can be proud of, every nationality, and because what this young man is doing in this story is what all young men, I'm going to say young men, I'm going to say young people are doing.
Absolutely.
And then their father. And at the same time, I don't want to give away the story. He's still a kid. He still needs his father. He still needs that foundation. He still needs that village. So what you saw is one end, but you don't see the vulnerability of him, and that's in there too.
See, that's amazing, and I think that's what makes it so realistic too. Is that it's everyday life for some people. I mean, for a lot of people, I think everyone's going to relate to it to, you know, varying degrees. Personally,
Yes. I pray that they do.
And it's amazing from what I've seen.
That the next time we sit down and I'm talking to you, and it's because I just finished directing a feature film. A major studio has picked it up, and this here Corona thing has been totally defeated, and it's going to be in the theaters.
I can't wait for that, man. I guarantee that's going to happen. How has that whole pandemic thing like altered the landscape trying to do this? I'm sure it's added some unnecessary stresses.
It has, but it has. I can't say it hasn't, but I refuse to stay down in the valley of no hope.
Absolutely.
That's why I continue to do what I do.
Exactly. Adapt and overcome. That's what we do, right?
Right.
You have to. And so, I mean, I think at this point, it's been around so long that we just kind of learn to make it the new norm and carry on however we have to, and just make adjustments.
Yeah, I will accept the fact that it's the new norm. What I won't accept is that it's going to be the continuous norm.
Exactly.
You know, I wasn't really a party person. I'm really not a big social person. But when I want to party and I want to socialize, I don't want to feel like I have to stay inside.
Exactly. I can say that I can relate to that 110%.
You know, my grandparents has made that transition, but I have a lot of people who are like my grandparents, who's like my mother, but I can't go see them.
Yeah.
And I want to go see them. And if something else, I think that if it is a positive in this that we can see, we see how valuable it is to tell someone now how much you love them.
I agree completely.
How much you want to be in their company. You know, I see who my real friends are now. Because all you have to do is make a phone call.
That's right.
It's a phone call now.
You know?
So you don't even have to, make a phone call. You can text. I'm not a text person, so if you text me, I probably won't see it until I find my phone. I don't even know who my cell phone is, but I'm going out of town in the morning, so I take my cell phone when I go out of town, but I very rarely carry it around because I want to remember.
Right.
I want to remember. I don't want a machine remembering for me.
You know, I feel the same way. I had this conversation a while back where I was talking about how much I miss the 80s because it seems like back then, if you wanted to know how someone's doing or what's going on with them, you picked up the phone and you called them. And now with social media, you read a post and you're like, okay, I'm caught up. I don't need to talk to the person. Yeah. And it's ridiculous.
Check this out. When you picked up the phone, you dialed their number. You didn't scroll down and find their number. You remembered their number.
That's right.
Remember their number. Social media is a great thing, but it also has its downfalls too.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword for sure. I sometimes refer to it as anti-social media because we were connected to people, but we don't really talk to them anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's like nobody wants to pick up a phone anymore. People get anxiety about answering a phone call sometimes. It's ridiculous.
I don't. Birthdays now, you don't even get birthday cards anymore.
Exactly.
You on the internet. And the thing about it, there's this website that you go and you pay $10 a year and you type in the person's birthday. So every year, whether you remember it or not, it sends that person a birthday card.
Wow.
And so I can't even sit and be excited that someone sent me a birthday card.
Because you don't even know if they even remembered or not. It's so empty.
You know?
It's genuine.
And it used to be some people look at a glass of water as half full, the other one look at it as half empty. Well, the positive, we always look at it as half full. But now, half empty has taken over.
I agree. It's true, though. I mean, it just seems so disingenuous when you get something. And then even worse is like Facebook will notify you when it's someone's birthday. And if you still don't hear from them, then you really feel slighted.
I don't have my birthday on there. But, some people have found a way to use Kincaid, Roland, and there's about 2 or 3 Kincaids on there. And people actually think that's me. And I see where they say this is Kincaid's birthday, and it's nowhere near my birthday.
Not even the same month.
Nowhere near my birthday, but I always say that every day is my birthday.
Yeah, man, I've said the same thing. I said, anytime I wake up on this side of the dirt, I'm a happy camper, man. It's a good day.
Yeah. I was in the bank one day and I asked this older gentleman how he was doing. He said, it's great. I'm doing great. It's good to be seen, not to be viewed.
That sums it up, man. I think that's pretty brilliant.
I'm glad to see you, sir. He said, great. It's good to be seen, not to be viewed.
That's so brilliant. And I mean, I agree with you completely. I think majority of my listeners know by now that I lost my son 9 days after his second birthday due to a terminal condition he was born with. So life is so precious, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why it meant the world to me when I found out a long time ago that you do like a lot of youth charity stuff. And I was like, that always hits my heart, you know, in a really big way when people do, you know, charitable things for kids, especially now with my child being gone. It's like, it means a lot, you know?
Yeah, it does. I don't have any biological kids. I'm unable. And I think that's the reason that I want children. So I tend to adopt them. Now I have a couple of sons, about 3 sons. I really do. And they're in my heart deeper than I'm in my heart. And so it's a value there. It's a value that, you know, most people don't understand. And I come from that place where there was a village. And everybody in that village was my mother and my father. There was one chief mother and there was one chief father. But everybody in that village was my father, and he reared me. And so the reason the organization you're talking about, for people who don't know and listening, I started an organization in 1997, actually 1996, called the Giving Back Corporation, where I give kids scholarships every year. And since 1996, I have given out over 550 scholarships. And some of those young people have gone on to be lawyers, doctors, teachers, social workers, actors, so they're unemployed. So, but it's a wonderful feeling. And just this past weekend, you know, I gave out 11 more. So I do that every year, and that's why when I do sign pictures at the conventions, 80% of my signings goes back to the community, the inner city kids, to make sure they can have books when they go to school. And sometimes I send kids to summer camp. You can't do it this summer, but I send them to summer camp. And I do that because back when I was in school, there was someone who helped me, and I didn't get a chance to thank her properly because she passed. So in this way, I feel that her giving back to me with all the people that's been on the sideline encouraging and pushing me, which I call land angels, pushing me to where I am. They never ask for money. The payback is pay it forward.
Absolutely.
People. And so that's what I do. So anyone who's listening out there, whenever you get something from me and you buy a picture from me and everything, it doesn't go to me. It goes to some young person throughout this United States and some overseas, because I have helped a lot of them overseas. I don't send finance, but sometimes I'm able to send them some nightmare memorabilia or something, or a book that they like. And your contribution to me, that's where it goes. I just needed to say that. But the short film is separate to me.
That's right.
However, I was able to use some of the people that had graduated from college to come and help me. And I think that has a lot to do with why the film looked so well, because I helped train some of the people who was behind the scene, and that was helping me.
That's amazing. I think that's awesome. And I do the same thing with my company every Christmas. I find children that have families that just financially can't provide a Christmas, and I take care of it. And it's just the most rewarding thing, because things happen, you know what I mean? Like some people's jobs are seasonal, you know, and then come winter, they're out of work. You know, so you just step in and help out. And, I think sometimes the hardest part is finding people that are willing to say, you know what, I do need help. Some people are just it hurts their pride to say, like, I need help. And it's like, hey, we all do sometimes, man. We all need help now and then. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And, you help them out, and it's great. And then my personal favorite is I did this the first year I started doing it, a family that I helped out. The next year, I saw on social media they were in a group offering help to less fortunate families because they were giving back, what I did for them. And I just happened to stumble upon it. They didn't come and tell me like they wanted some kind of recognition for it or anything like that. They just went ahead and did it, and I thought that was so great.
And it does things, and for me, what the lady did for me when I was in high school affects me to the day. And I still don't feel that I have given back enough. And so now I continue to do that. And I hope that some of the young people that I've helped along the way, that they would feel what I feel. And many of them do.
Absolutely. And I think that's so important. It always takes that one experience that you don't forget that someone did for you that didn't have to. And it just makes you never want to stop giving back to people. You know what I mean? I don't think there is an end to it when you have that in you that you just want to give what someone gave you to people that need it. I don't think it ever ends. I don't think the need to do that ever stops. I think it's just something you're programmed to want to do, right?
And I have tried to, Keith. I've tried to not want to give back because I've been hurt a few times.
Oh yeah, that'll happen.
And I didn't want to give back. And that lasted about a good week. The organization that I always have an event called a Toast Roast where I honor some of our legendary Black artists who are often overlooked. And for 5 years, I had been saying, this is the last. This is the last. I started that at the 10th year. Where I say this is the last. So now, as I go into the 20th year, because I've tried to rest. I've tried to lay down and said I'm not going to do it anymore. And there have been times where I've been off for a couple of years, but I can't put a period there. Exactly. Not until I can find someone to take over.
That's brilliant.
Because I want to be able to say I started something. And when I do make my transition, I want to be able to say, look, I was making something right, good, when I left. And I left it in the hands of someone else.
Absolutely. I think that's so important. I think that's where I'm at too. And I'm a little bit of a control freak sometimes when it comes to
You
like,
have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be. Please be it, because when you're working on your project and you're a control freak, it's because you are in tune to the core of what that project needs.
Exactly.
No one is going to embody the love of your vision better than you.
Exactly.
When my best years in doing what I was doing was the first few years that I did it, because I did everything. Only when I started allowing people to come in and doing what they want to do in order to enhance it, to make it better. And it did.
Right.
But it took away some of the core out of it.
Yeah, I talked about that in a documentary that's been done recently about my life and my career. And I said, it gets to a point where things grow so rapidly that you just kind of can't wear all the hats anymore, but you really don't want to relinquish control.
Right. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that,
It's just, it's funny. It's like, that they're very capable hands that you're leaving certain aspects in, but you still have that need to oversee and be like, let's make sure you did that the way I would do it. You know what I mean? It's just that obsession that's there.
Because you know what you said a few minutes ago, that you lost a child.
Right.
And what you create is a child.
Absolutely.
It's another child. So you don't want that child disrespected. You don't want that child taken advantage of, because you're going to give it more love than you can give yourself. So that's what most people don't understand. They don't understand these things. They don't understand when, a person adopts a child. A person take on the responsibility of a child. They don't understand that responsibility is so strong that he's treating that child sometimes better than the parent are treating them.
Exactly.
So it's in your core. And I don't explain it anymore.
No, it comes, it gets to a point where it's like, it's just what it is, right? And, that's...
I don't want to sound like right now, it is what it is. Makes me think of Trump, and I don't want to do that.
No. No, I agree. But, it is one of those things that it's sometimes hard to explain, but it's just like, I invested everything into this. It's my vision, and nobody's going to nail it quite like me, because they don't see what I see.
Nobody.
You know what I mean? And
they're not supposed to.
That's right.
They're not supposed to, and it takes time to learn that. They can get close, but they're not supposed to.
Exactly.
Because if they can see it, then it's not as much of it as an individual source as you thought it to be.
Exactly. And I try to explain to people, when they're trying to figure out what they want to do in life, they ask me, like, you did all this and, your story is insane, and you managed to pull all this off in spite of everything working against you. Like, what advice can you give? And I said, the biggest thing for me is, if what you're doing does not make you nervous, doesn't give you butterflies in your gut, then it's not worth doing, because there's no consequence.
When I was doing stand-up, and I'm going to tell you this little short story, you remember the great George Burns, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
And I was working at Universal Studios, and I was doing stand-up. And when I first met him, I remember I said, "So I'm doing stand-up." He said, "Wow, are you funny?" And I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Probably not." So he came to the lot about 3 months later. I said, "You remember me?" He said, "Yeah." "You say you're a comedian?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Are you funny?" I said, "Yes, sir. I'll get some laugh." "Probably not." So about a year later, I did in Vegas, and I was going to do Vegas, and I saw him, and I said, "Mr. Warren, I'm going to do Vegas," and he said, "You think you're going to be funny?" He said, "I got to be honest with you, I'm nervous and I'm scared," and he said, "You'll be fine." And when I found out, he was saying, anything that you're going to always be nervous, you're going to always be scared. But when you're not scared and you're not nervous and you're not any of those things, then you think you're better than who you are.
Exactly. And sometimes it's kind of like, you have to question, do you really care if it doesn't make you nervous?
Yeah. I'm going to tell you that in my journey coming to Los Angeles in '79, which was April the 13th, which was Friday the 13th,
Oh, wow.
and I had $113 in my pocket. That's what I had.
Wow.
And along the way, there have been some wonderful, wonderful people in my life that took time to give me a couple of sentences, 2 minutes of advice. I had the privilege of meeting Mr. Alfred Hitchcock. I had the privilege of meeting Lucille Ball. I had the privilege of meeting Nell Carter. I met all of them. Telly Savalas allowed me to go to his workshop. I trained under Marlon Brando. I have passed by some of the greats, and they passed things on to me. And so I feel that I've had a lot of land angels to help me out. So that's why I do what I do. I'm going to continue to do what I do. And I thank God and I'm blessed. Now we're going to end this by saying, can you please go to the YouTube page and like my short film, The McHenry Trial Trailer. It's 2 minutes long. I need to make this go viral, and I need to get the likes and the comments. Even if you just say, great movie. That's what I need.
Exactly. Everybody take the time, man. It doesn't take that long, and it's for a great cause. It's very worthy of it. And, I mean, it's already won 2 awards, so trust me, you won't be disappointed. Four now. Yeah, geez. I'm losing track, man. I'm losing track. There's so many. It's like every time I check in, there's more and more.
Yes, there's going to be another one in about 10 minutes. I just haven't posted it yet.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
So
okay, sir, I think we're going to bid farewell for now, but you're going to let me come back, right?
Absolutely.
All right, I appreciate it, man. So I thank you.
Oh, thank you, man.
And make this happen. You're going to be posting this very soon, I hope.
Absolutely, with minutes.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Okay, let me know, man, and thanks a lot, all right?
Yeah, thanks a lot for coming on, man. It's awesome having you.
Okay, appreciate it. All right.
Take care, man.
All right, thanks.
All right, y'all. That was, of course, the one and only Ken Sagoes, man. Kincaid himself from Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4. Had a blast talking to him, man. He's a great guy. Amazing, amazing human being. And like I said, even if you don't have time to listen to a lot of shows, if you listen to this one, I swear it's so important, dude. Just take the 2 minutes, go to his YouTube channel, watch the trailer, like that trailer, and just leave a comment, man. Could be anything, and it'll help so much, and it's truly appreciated. I want to thank Ken once again for being on the show. Absolutely amazing guest, and I definitely will be having him back for sure. He's got an open invitation, man. That's Kincaid, bro. Anytime he wants to be on the show, I am more than happy to have my friend come back on. So thanks for checking it out, man. I appreciate y'all. Go to the YouTube channel, click like on the trailer, leave a comment, watch the trailer. You won't be disappointed, man. It didn't win that many awards for nothing, so you got to check it out. It's so worth it, and it'll help a guy out that really deserves it. And trust me, you're helping a lot of people by helping him. So as you heard on the show, he gives back. So it's so important. I'm going to wrap this up now and on to the next. You know what I'm saying? And I'll let you know who's going to be on next time when I round up some more guests. But I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for helping out Ken in any way you can with just a click of a button and a comment. It's so vital. It's going to make a world of difference, man. Thank you guys for checking us out, as always, and I'll catch your asses later, man.